Right now, nearly 72% of the people flexing massive lifestyle upgrades on your social media feeds are secretly drowning in consumer debt. You see the designer hauls, the constant aesthetic cafe trips, the spontaneous flights to Tulum, and it is so easy to think, how is everyone my age suddenly rich? They aren't. They are highly leveraged. But there is a very small, very quiet group of young people who are actually building serious net worth right now. If you sat next to one of them in a college lecture or at a co-working space, you would never, ever know it. They don't look like the internet's version of wealthy. But once you understand their specific behavioral code, you can spot them instantly. In this video, I'm going to reveal the exact signs that someone is quietly building a fortune and how copying their weirdest habits can entirely change your financial trajectory. Let's be brutally honest for a second. It has never been harder to be young and trying to figure out money. You are facing the highest housing costs relative to wages in modern history. Inflation is eating your paycheck. And on top of that, you have an algorithm in your pocket designed to make you feel completely inadequate 24 hours a day. You are not wrong to worry about your financial future. It feels like the game is rigged. And because the traditional milestones like buying a house at 25 feel completely out of reach, an entire generation has decided to just buy the illusion of wealth instead. We call it doom spending. If you can't afford a down payment, why not drop $450 on a luxury fragrance so you at least smell successful? But this is exactly where the secretly wealthy separate themselves from the pack. They completely reject the performance. They understand that every dollar spent proving to strangers that you have money is a dollar that can never actually go to work for you. They don't play the status game because they are playing the freedom game. And the very first sign that someone is on their way to real permanent wealth is how they interact with the trend cycle. Let's get into it. The first sign someone is secretly wealthy is that they completely ghost what I call the aesthetic tax. I'm talking about the pressure to constantly update your wardrobe, your apartment decor, and your accessories to match whatever micro trend is blowing up on TikTok this month. You know the cycle. One week it's the mob wife aesthetic, the next it's quiet luxury. And suddenly everyone is buying $114 worth of fast fashion garments that are going to fall apart after 3 trips through the washing machine. But the secretly wealthy person, they wear the exact same neutral, high-quality jacket they bought 3 years ago. They aren't constantly swapping out their bedroom furniture for whatever is trending on Pinterest. Now, you might be thinking, well, they're just boring. No, they are mathematical. The average young adult spends roughly $1,800 a year just trying to keep their aesthetic updated. Over 5 years, that's $9,000 incinerated on things that end up in a landfill. The secretly wealthy understand that true luxury isn't a logo. It's durability. They will happily spend $300 on a pair of boots that will last a decade, rather than $50 on boots they have to replace every 6 months. This mindset is powerful because it removes the decision fatigue from their daily life. They don't wake up stressed about out-of-date outfits. They've removed themselves from the consumer treadmill entirely. So, if you have a friend who always looks put together but hasn't bought a new piece of clothing in 6 months, pay attention. They are quietly hoarding capital. And that leads right into the second and arguably most important sign of a stealth wealth builder. Sign number 2 is that they guard their attention like it's their actual bank account. Most people think wealth is just about managing dollars. The quietly wealthy know that wealth is actually downstream from managing your focus. Think about how the average person operates. They leave the notifications on. They scroll for 3 hours a day. They let influencers sell them lifestyle products they never knew they needed. The average digital consumer is exposed somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 ads every single day. That is a relentless assault on your wallet and your psychology. But if you look at a secretly wealthy person, their digital footprint looks completely different. They aggressively unsubscribe from marketing emails. They use ad blockers. They don't engage in comment section wars. And here's the biggest tell. They are perfectly fine being out of the loop on internet drama. When everyone else is spending 45 minutes debating the latest celebrity scandal, the quietly wealthy person is using that exact same 45 minutes to learn a high-income skill, read a financial prospectus, or just take a walk to clear their head. You might argue, but everyone needs downtime. And you're right, but the secretly wealthy don't view doom scrolling as rest. They view it as unauthorized withdrawal of their mental capital. They know that if an app is free, their attention is the product being sold to advertisers. By taking back their attention, they reclaim the hours needed to actually build something of value. Quick pause. If you're getting value out of this video so far, take 1 second to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. My goal with this channel is to help you build real wealth and avoid the financial traps that keep most people stuck. Let's get back to the video. And speaking of the technology they use, you'll be shocked by what's actually in their pocket. The third sign someone is secretly wealthy is that their tech stack absolutely does not match their tax bracket. We live in a society where having the newest iPhone with the 3 massive camera lenses on the back is treated like a mandatory status symbol. People will literally judge you for having a green text bubble or carrying around a laptop that's slightly thicker than a magazine. But the secretly wealthy person in their 20s, they are probably rocking a very old iPhone with a chipped screen protector. Their laptop might be 5 years old. Why? Because they understand the brutal reality of digital depreciation. Financing a $200 phone every single year is one of the most efficient ways to keep yourself broke. Let's do the math. If you finance a new phone upgrade every year, you are essentially guaranteeing a permanent $40 to $60 monthly bill for the rest of your life. But if you keep a phone for 5 years and invest that same $50 a month into an S&P 500 index fund, you are literally buying future freedom instead of a slightly better camera. I know what you're thinking, but I need my phone for work. Sure you do. But a secretly wealthy person views tech strictly as a tool, not as an extension of their personality. If the tool still sends emails, makes calls, and opens spreadsheets, it works. They refuse to play the carrier upgrade game. So next time you see someone who is highly competent and successful, but they pull out a phone that is 4 generations old, don't pity them. They probably have a fully funded Roth IRA. Sign number 4 is that they have a strict zero-tolerance policy for buy now, pay later traps. This is the silent killer of our generation's wealth. Apps like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm have entirely normalized the idea of financing a $150 grocery run or a pair of sneakers across 4 easy payments. Nearly 45% of young adults have used a buy now, pay later service in the last year. It feels like a life hack. It feels like free money. But the quietly wealthy see exactly what this is: a psychological trap designed to separate you from your future cash flow. When you fracture a purchase into 4 smaller payments, your brain doesn't register the pain of the full price. It artificially inflates your purchasing power. But the secretly wealthy operate on a very old-school, rigid rule. If you cannot buy it twice in cash right now, you cannot afford it, period. They don't finance pizzas. They don't finance fast fashion. They know that wealth is built by having surplus cash flow at the end of the month. And every time you use a BNPL service, you are sending a piece of your next paycheck to a tech company before you've even earned it. They prefer the mild sting of paying upfront because it forces them to ask the hard question: do I actually want this, or am I just bored? By avoiding these micro debts, they keep their monthly overhead incredibly lean, which gives them ultimate flexibility. Fractured payments are a psychological trap. If you can't buy it twice in cash, you simply can't afford it. The 5th sign of a secretly wealthy young person is that they practice absolute career stealth. If you look at social media, there is an entire cottage industry of hustle porn. It's people posting screenshots of their Shopify dashboards, tweeting their daily morning routines at 4 a.m., and bragging about their passive income streams. But here is a massive truth bomb. The people making the loudest noise about the grind are usually making their money by selling the idea of the grind to you. The actual stealth wealth builders, they are completely silent. You won't find the phrase entrepreneur or crypto investor in their bio. They don't boast about their side hustles. They don't post pictures of their trading screens. They are quietly upskilling, negotiating raises in the background, or building a small, boring, profitable business that no one on the internet cares about. They do this for a strategic reason. When you broadcast your success, you invite competition, jealousy, and expectations. You create a persona that you then have to spend energy defending. The quietly wealthy would rather have the security of a massive emergency fund than the validation of 1,000 followers calling them a boss. They know that real leverage comes from competence, not clout. They let their results compound in the shadows, perfectly happy to let their peers think they are just working an average, boring job. True builders don't broadcast their hustle. They let their investments compound quietly in the shadows. Now, hearing all of this, you might be feeling a bit of a sting. Maybe you've used a buy now, pay later app recently. Maybe you upgraded your phone when you really didn't need to. Or maybe you bought a trending outfit just to feel relevant. Listen to me. Do not beat yourself up. We are living in an attention economy that spends billions of dollars to engineer exactly those behaviors. You were set up to play a game where the only way is to make giant corporations richer. But today is where you flip the board. You can choose to step out of the performance. Start by auditing your own life. Where are you spending money just to signal to other people that you're doing okay? What would happen if you just stopped? What if, for the next 90 days, you didn't buy a single piece of clothing, you ignored every tech upgrade, and you aggressively protected your attention? The amount of cash and mental clarity you would free up is staggering. You don't need a massive salary to start acting like the secretly wealthy. You just need the discipline to stop playing a fake status game. You start by reclaiming your cash flow month by month, quietly and intentionally. Stop playing the performance game and start clawing back your cash flow quietly and intentionally. The most liberating realization you can have in your 20s or 30s is that no one is actually paying that much attention to your stuff. Everyone is too busy worrying about their own. When you finally internalize that, the desire to flex completely evaporates. You stop buying things to impress people you don't even like. You start making decisions based entirely on what buys you time, peace, and optionality. That is what real wealth is. It's not the designer bag or the luxury car. It is the deep, unbreakable, quiet confidence of knowing you are financially secure no matter what happens in the economy. If this mindset shift resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We are building a community here of people who care about real financial independence, not just looking the part. Remember, you have the power to define what success looks like for you, and you have the power to build it quietly. I'll see you in the next video. Keep building.